Good morning. With continued change in ALPA membership demographics, it is a responsibility as an association leaders to ensure that all ALPA members understand how our union works, have a voice in its positions, activities, and general direction. New members need a basic knowledge of the contract negotiations process under the Railway Labor Act and the Canadian Labor Code so that they can provide meaningful feedback and participation in activities that support ALPA efforts. They need to know who their local elected officials are and understand basics like how pilot ideas become adopted association policies. ALPA members need this foundational background because whether they are fully aware or not, they are the caretakers of this organization. Many will spend their entire careers as airline pilots, and if they want a voice in the direction of their profession, they need to take possession of it. Developing this sense of ownership builds cooperation across airline brands, which is critical if ALPA's longstanding motto of pilots serving pilots is to continue. However, this kind of proprietorship is also important if our pilots are to build and maintain unity. We all feel that we should be properly compensated based on our contributions to our organizations. In addition, and I recognize I'm getting into Wendy's territory when I say this, everyone in this room universally agrees that safety must always be our top priority. These are principles we all believe in, and it is this unity that fuels us. Our membership total is exponentially multiplied when all of our pilots are unified in this same manner. The spirit of solidarity is where our greatest strength lies and is the key to our progress in moving forward. However, cooperation and unity just don't happen. We have to make a concerted effort as ALPA leaders to create an environment that fosters these characteristics. Establishing that environment with the proper resources and tools begins with engagement and better getting to know our pilots. I want to spend my allotted time this morning talking to you about some of the ways we are working to influence and win over our members to ensure they actively participate and contribute to our union's continued success. ALPA represents 80,254 pilots at 43 airlines as of October 1st, 2025. This total consists of 21 U.S. airlines and 22 Canadian carriers. This membership table provides a breakdown of some of the various pilot categories and counts, including 267 furloughs at properties like Spirit, Air Wisconsin, Raven Alaska, New Pacific Airlines. While this number may seem low, some furloughs, due to their specific circumstances, may fall under different classifications. Since our last meeting, the 800-plus pilots of Porter Airlines have joined our ranks. I also want to acknowledge the efforts of the WestJet and Sunwing pilots to wrap up their merger, as well as the work of the Mesa pilots as they continue the process to merge with their counterparts at Republic Airways. In my May report, I noted that our membership is trending significantly younger. With the information we've collected from polling, publication feedback, and line pilot comments shared with the local council leaders, we're actively looking for different ways we can provide value, refocus our programs to be more line pilot facing. Allow me to give you some examples. Until recently, major carriers have been hiring enormous numbers of pilots while depleting pilot staffing levels at the national and regional airlines and creating an environment of industry-wide turnover. While overall hiring has slowed, many of the airlines continue to take on new pilots. Many of you have revealed that access to these new hires while in training varies greatly depending upon the carrier. Some pilot groups have dedicated periods when they can talk to new hires, while others have little or no contact. To ensure we connect with these new pilots in a meaningful way, many MECs have instituted mentoring programs, assigning new hires to seasoned pilots who can explain the nuances of employment, management expectations, and tools like the grievance process. Can I get a quick show of hands? How many MECs currently have mentoring programs for their new hires? Excellent, excellent. We're using the Cooper mentoring software to track probationary pilots, particularly taking note of those with ALPA committee experience at previous airlines. Cooper also enables us to employ education campaigns for probationary members, previously called DRIPs, These automated emails are distributed at designated points over the duration of a pilot's training experience. The image on the screen is the heading for a campaign designed specifically for ALPA Canada, which contains 24 separate messages as part of a 12-month Canadian pilot education drive. Topics include scheduling, company expenses, uniforms, crash pads, information probationary members need to know. These messages help new hires better understand what to expect during and after training, and the regularly scheduled frequency of these emails serves as positive reinforcement that ALPA is available and has their best interests in mind. The ALPA 301 education series for new hires has been established to share information about our union, why it was created, and how it functions. A component of the ALPA Academy, the association's online learning system, 301 offers segments on ALPA's history, the association's code of ethics, and most recently on pilot contracts. All courses are available in both English and French. To give you a better sense of what I'm talking about, here is a 2-minute preview of our latest interactive curriculum, which outlines the collective bargaining cycle.
Throughout your career as a pilot, you'll likely experience about 5 contract cycles. Each one is an opportunity to secure the best possible conditions, so it's essential to understand the process and be prepared. Select each button below to learn more about each phase of the contract cycle and how it contributes to a successful negotiation. In the preparation phase, your MEC and union representatives conduct research to understand the needs and priorities of your pilot group. Surveys, polls, and pilot feedback play a critical role in this phase. They gather data on what matters most to you, such as pay, scheduling, work conditions, and benefits. The team also reviews industry standards, economic forecasts, and recent contracts at other airlines to establish a strong foundation. In Phase 2, your MEC and negotiators plan the negotiating strategy and develop proposals that represent the needs of the pilot group and the changes pilots want to see in their contract. Your feedback helps them build a strong plan. The negotiation phase is when your MEC negotiators meet with management representatives to present proposals and discuss terms. This process involves multiple, potentially dozens of, rounds of offers and counteroffers as both sides work toward an agreement the pilot group will ratify. Once an agreement is reached, it's presented to your MEC leaders and then the pilot group as a tentative agreement. All pilots then have the opportunity to review the tentative agreement and vote to ratify it. Ratification is your chance to have a direct say in accepting or rejecting the contract that your team has negotiated on your behalf. After ratification, the new contract moves into the implementation phase. The union and management work together to ensure that the agreed-upon terms are put into practice. This can involve adjusting policies, updating procedures, and ensuring that everyone understands the changes. The MEC will continue to monitor the implementation to ensure management adheres to the contract and to promptly address the situation when it does not.
As we add more segments, pilots will also learn about how to leverage essential tools and ways to offer support to strengthen their careers, protect their rights, and contribute to the collective voice of pilots worldwide. The ALPA Academy provides other online courses covering a host of topics, including Blue Lightning Initiative, training to teach pilots how to more easily identify signs of human trafficking. You can learn the basics of being a secretary-treasurer or find out about available ALPA government affairs programs which pilots can participate in. The United Pilot Group has even posted instructions on how to use the preferential bidding system. Go to alpaacademy.alpa.org for more information. On October 1st, ALPA premiered its new website with a sleeker, more sophisticated look. We've created a user experience that delivers a premium platform for the association's advocacy and outreach efforts, while providing a modern portal for members to access exclusive content, as well as your MEC and LEC websites. The new ALPA website was designed by our communications department staff with assistance from consultants at Interactive Strategies and is better organized to help you take full advantage of the many resources, tools, and benefits that only ALPA members can provide. Simply put, the new ALPA.org is a major step forward, and ALPA Communications Assistant Director Chris Dergalis will be giving us a demo later in plenary. I also want to spend a moment talking about ALPA's Volunteer Recognition and Recruitment Project. As I recently highlighted in my weighing in column in the September magazine, our organization has endured and thrived for nearly 95 years despite technological, institutional, and cultural changes. This success is due in large part to the vision, participation, and input of our members. From those engaging in everyday tasks that keep our mini pilot groups operating to others in specialty roles who advance strategic initiatives, we simply couldn't achieve what we have without their participation. I want to thank you and your MECs for providing a list of current volunteers when we contacted you last month. As part of our ongoing volunteer recognition and recruitment project, in the next few weeks we will be sending a package to all of our volunteers that include 4 items. The first is a simple thank you note, acknowledging their role in the success of the association. The other 3 are swag items. You should have samples in front of you. Everyone will receive a sticker, a badge backer, and a luggage tag. If you look at the badge backer, there is a QR code on the back labeled Want to Volunteer. That link takes you to a section within the ALPA website that includes a welcome from Jason, helpful information about the various areas that need support, details about choosing the right path, stories from our officers about their first volunteer jobs, and a quick and easy way for pilots to contact their MECs to get more information and get started. This resource is online at alpa.org/volunteer. I encourage all MECs to promote this webpage and help encourage your pilots to volunteer. And if you have ideas about how we can make this even more valuable to you, please reach out. As we all know, the airline industry is cyclical, and despite economic upturns, and certain portions of our carriers will always be confronting challenges. Accordingly, I want to highlight the refurbished ALPA Furlough Pilot Support Program. New information and features have been added to its webpage, including FAQs, career coaching, and job fair access, instructions on filing for unemployment insurance, and important details like where to find peer support networks. In addition, the new program features a powerful new tool. The Furlough Mentor Program pairs ALPA furloughees with pilot mentors, many of whom were previously furloughed and who can provide support and a sense of connection. Furloughees are matched with one of more than 200 mentors using the Cooper software we previously mentioned, which also provides functions for group discussions, town hall capabilities, and live events. If you have furlough members in your ranks, tell them to keep an eye out for an email with a link to join Cooper. Alternatively, pilots who wish to become mentors will need to complete the application form on ALPA's Furloughed Pilot Support Program webpage. This important resource will ensure no pilot has to face this challenge alone. For details, visit www.alpa.org/furlough. I've talked about some of the new ways we're working to better onboard and engage our members, but frankly, the process needs to start even sooner. Through the Professional Development Group's Education Committee, we're working with students from kindergarten to college to educate them about the airline pilot profession and the important role ALPA plays in the U.S. and Canadian airline industry. We've arranged for 16 collegiate mentoring programs and are constantly working with other accredited schools to expand this effort. We continue public outreach campaigns like ALPA's Project Takeoff, which last month promoted the airline pilot job to passengers passing through the Denver International Airport. This summer, pilot volunteers from the PDG committee attended EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh and the Abbotsford Air Show, where they talked to students, their parents, as well as others considering career changes about the benefits of flying for a living. In addition, ALPA recently awarded scholarships to 4 outstanding collegiate aviators, also participated in conferences for the Latino Professionals in Aerospace, the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, the University Aviation Association, and RTAG. As a side note, ALPA gave away its first $10,000 scholarship at the RTAG National Convention in Denver early this month. All these efforts help better prepare those interested in becoming an airline pilot to have a greater understanding of what the job entails and the value, community, and protections that ALPA membership affords. We're also working to instill in them the importance of taking ownership of their chosen profession and how that can best be achieved. And speaking of important pilot resources, I urge you to encourage your members who are victims of widespread disasters to apply for Pilot for Pilots grants. Since the beginning of the year, P4P has issued $59,500 to 18 pilot members in need. While P4P account balance as of October 1st is $854,969.55, we know from experience that a devastating event could easily deplete these funds. So please also ask your pilots to continue donating to this important member resource. This morning I've talked about programs we're instituting to help us better get to know our members, educate them about what ALPA is and how it came about. It's my hope that in taking these measures, we will increase pilot engagement, generate a larger volunteer base, and foster a stronger sense of ownership, particularly among our newer members. For our purpose, think of our union as a business. To be successful, we need to better understand our customer. We need to not only anticipate what they need, but also know how best to reach them. And we're doing so by employing some of the programs I've mentioned. Having talked about pilot volunteer appreciation programs, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the hundreds of pilots who work for the groups and committees I oversee, as well as the many elected officials here today. What we do would not be possible without your efforts, and I know firsthand the amount of time, sacrifice you make in fulfilling your duties. You need to know that your work is greatly appreciated, and routinely acknowledging your efforts is now an association priority. Thank you for your attention this morning. If you have any questions about my report, please reach out to me. Thank you.